The village of Obiocha was a jua nestled amidst rolling hills, where the sun seemed to kiss the earth with extra warmth and the rivers whispered secrets as they danced through the land. Life pulsed with a vibrant rhythm, a symphony of laughter, harvest festivals, and the gentle murmur of daily life. At the heart of this idyllic village stood the magnificent palace of King Izendo, a ruler whose name echoed with both love and a touch of fear. His daughter, Princess Nnenna, was the pride of the kingdom, a vision of grace and wisdom, her beauty as radiant as the morning star. But beneath the shimmering surface of her seemingly perfect life, a chilling secret festered. It was foretold that on the night of her 20th birthday, a prophecy, whispered at her birth by the village's most revered seer, hung over her like a dark cloud, its terrifying implications hidden from Nnenna herself. Under the watchful gaze of the full moon, she would be presented with a choice, a crossroads that would irrevocably alter the course of her life. As the dreaded day approached, an undercurrent of anxiety rippled through the palace walls. The villagers whispered in hushed tones, their faces etched with worry. The elders, burdened by the weight of their knowledge, observed solemn fast, praying for divine intervention. Even King Izendo, a man known for his unwavering composure, found himself wrestling with a growing unease. But Nnenna, blissfully unaware of the prophecy that loomed over her, only felt a strange, inexplicable weight in the air, a sense of being watched by unseen eyes. She couldn't shake the feeling that something significant was about to happen. Then, on the eve of her 20th birthday, as the full moon cast an ethereal silver glow upon the palace, a mysterious visitor arrived. She was a woman of striking beauty, draped in flowing white robes that shimmered like moonlight on water. Her eyes, deep and penetrating, gleamed with an otherworldly light, like distant stars brought down to earth. In her outstretched palm, she held something small and luminous, a pearl, pulsating faintly in the darkness, radiating an aura of ancient magic. Nnenna, the woman whispered, her voice like the rustling of leaves in a sacred grove, the moment has come. You must choose your fate or your freedom. The princess felt her heart leap into her throat. The prophecy, the whispers, the strange dreams, it all clicked into place. Her life was about to change forever. Princess Nnenna was unlike any other princess Obiocha had ever known. While her peers spent their days engrossed in the delicate art of embroidery and admiring their reflections in polished mirrors, Nnenna found solace in the cool embrace of the palace gardens. She would spend hours listening to the captivating tales of the village elders, their voices rich with the history and folklore of Obiocha. She watched the craftsmen with fascination as they skillfully transformed raw wood into intricate works of art, their hands guided by generations of tradition. Nnenna was beloved by the people, not only for her enchanting beauty but also for her genuine kindness and empathy. When a devastating drought gripped the land, leaving the farmers struggling to survive, she bravely approached her father and pleaded for the construction of new wells, ensuring that her people would have access to life-giving water. When the village children lacked access to books and formal education, she would gather them under the sprawling Eudora tree, her voice weaving magical stories that transported them to faraway lands and ignited their imaginations. But Nnenna carried a secret, a burden she never shared with anyone. She was plagued by recurring dreams, vivid and unsettling, that visited her in the stillness of the night. She dreamt of a river with water as black as ink, its surface reflecting a sky filled with ominous storm clouds. She dreamt of a pearl, shimmering and whispering secrets in a language she couldn't understand. And most disturbingly, she dreamt of a choice, a pivotal decision that loomed before her, its nature shrouded in mystery. These dreams, cryptic and unsettling, left her with a gnawing sense of unease, a feeling that something momentous was about to unfold. The night of Nnenna's 20th birthday was meant to be a grand celebration, a night filled with joyous music, delectable feasts, and vibrant dances beneath a canopy of twinkling stars. But the festive atmosphere was shattered the moment the stranger appeared. She was unlike any woman Nnenna had ever encountered. Tall and regal, with skin as dark and luminous as polished ebony, She possessed an aura of power that commanded attention, making even the bravest warriors instinctively step back. In her hand, she held the pearl, small, yet radiating an inner light that pulsed like a living heartbeat, captivating and mesmerizing. "Who are you?" Nnenna asked, her voice trembling slightly as she stepped forward, drawn to the stranger's presence. The woman offered a gentle smile, her lips curving into an expression that held both warmth and a hint of sadness. "I am Olama," she replied, her voice soft yet resonant, "the guardian of fate. And I have come to offer you a choice." She extended her hand, offering the pearl to Nnenna. The moment the pearl touched Nnenna's skin, a surge of energy coursed through her veins, and a torrent of images flooded her mind. She saw visions of a life of unimaginable riches and power, where she would be revered and obeyed. But she also saw glimpses of a life filled with profound sorrow and devastating loss, where happiness was fleeting and despair lingered in the shadows. She saw countless paths branching out before her, twisting and turning in ways she couldn't comprehend, each path leading to a different destiny. "The pearl holds your fate, princess," Olama said softly, her eyes fixed on Nnenna's. "You may choose to accept the destiny that has been written for you, or you may choose to break free from its hold." Nnenna's heart pounded in her chest, her mind reeling from the visions she had just witnessed. "What is my fate?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Olama's expression turned somber, her eyes clouding with a hint of melancholy. "If you choose to embrace your destiny," she explained, "you will marry a powerful and influential prince, and your kingdom will prosper and flourish. But before your 21st birthday, you will vanish, disappear from the face of the earth, leaving no trace behind. No one will ever know what became of you." A shiver ran down Nnenna's spine, the image of her own disappearance sending a chill through her. "And if I choose to break free?" she asked, her voice filled with a mixture of fear and defiance. Olama's voice dropped to a near whisper. "Then you will forge your own path, princess. You will be the architect of your own destiny, unbound by prophecy or fate. But be warned, the gods will turn their backs on you. You will face trials and tribulations that will test the very limits of your strength and courage." The weight of Olama's words settled heavily upon Nnenna's shoulders. For days, she wandered through the palace like a ghost, unable to eat or sleep. The visions of her possible futures, both alluring and terrifying, haunted her waking hours and invaded her dreams. Her father, King Izendo, noticed her withdrawn demeanor, the light in her eyes dimming with each passing day. "My daughter," he said one evening, his voice filled with concern as he sat beside her in the royal gardens, "something troubles you. Tell me what burdens your heart." Nnenna longed to confide in him, to share the burden of the prophecy and the agonizing choice that lay before her. But a deep intuition told her that he already knew. The unspoken secret hung in the air between them, a palpable tension that neither of them could ignore. "Father," she said carefully, choosing her words with deliberate precision, "if you were given the choice between a future of unwavering certainty and a future brimming with the promise of freedom, which path would you choose?" The king's face grew serious, his brow furrowed in thought. "Certainty," he replied, his voice measured, "offers peace of mind. It provides a sense of security, knowing what lies ahead. Freedom, on the other hand, is fraught with risk. It requires courage, resilience, and the willingness to face the unknown. But the greatest curse of all, my daughter, is to live a life that is not your own, a life dictated by others, a life devoid of choice." Nnenna felt her chest tighten with emotion. Her father's words resonated deeply within her soul, confirming her deepest fears and desires. That night, as the palace slept, bathed in the soft glow of the moon, she made her decision. She took the pearl, the vessel of her predetermined fate, and walked silently to the river, its waters shimmering under the moonlight. With a deep breath, she hurled the pearl into the dark depths of the river. At first, nothing happened. The pearl sank beneath the surface, disappearing into the murky depths. Then, a deafening crack of thunder ripped through the sky, and the river, once clear and sparkling, turned as black as night, its surface roiling with an ominous energy. The morning after Nnenna cast the pearl into the river, Obiocha was no longer the same. The vibrant energy that had once permeated the village had been replaced by a palpable sense of unease. The river, once a source of life and joy, remained stubbornly dark, its waters reflecting the somber mood that had gripped the land. The air itself felt heavy, charged with an unseen force. And at the heart of the palace, a devastating blow fell. King Izendo, the pillar of strength and wisdom, was struck down by a mysterious illness. He lay in his bed, his breathing shallow, his once vibrant eyes clouded with sickness. "The gods are angry," the high priest proclaimed, his voice trembling with fear. "Princess Nnenna has defied their will. She has rejected the path they laid out for her, and now, the kingdom will pay the price." Guilt gnawed at Nnenna's heart. Had she made a terrible mistake? Had her desire for freedom brought ruin upon her father and her people? The weight of her decision pressed down on her, threatening to crush her spirit. Just as despair began to consume her, Olama reappeared, as silently and mysteriously as she had come. "You chose freedom, Nnenna," Olama said, her voice echoing through the silent palace. "Now, you must prove that you are worthy of it. You must show that you possess the strength and wisdom to wield the power you have claimed." "But how?" Nnenna cried, her voice filled with anguish. "My father is dying. The land is suffering. How can I possibly fix what I have broken?" Olama reached into the folds of her shimmering robe and pulled out something small and familiar, the paw. It paused faintly in her hand, a reminder of the destiny Nnenna had rejected. "You cannot escape your destiny, Nnenna," Olama said, her gaze penetrating. "You can only reshape it. You can only redefine what it means to be the mistress of your own fate." Nnenna stared at the pearl, its allure now tinged with a sense of defiance. She knew that accepting it would mean surrendering her newfound freedom, returning to the path that had been laid out for her. But she also knew that true freedom meant taking responsibility for her choices, facing the consequences of her actions. Instead of taking the pearl, Nnenna did something unexpected. She knelt down and, with all her strength, crushed the pearl beneath her foot. The pearl shattered into 1,000 pieces, its light extinguished. A sudden gust of wind swept through the palace, swirling around Nnenna, its force almost knocking her off her feet. The river, which had remained stubbornly dark, began to lighten, the inky blackness slowly receding, replaced by the familiar sparkle of clean water. And in the royal chambers, King Izendo took a deep, shuddering breath. The color returned to his face, and his eyes fluttered open. His sickness, as mysteriously as it had come, was gone. Olama's eyes gleamed with an expression that Nnenna couldn't quite decipher. "You have done what no one before you dared to do," she said, her voice filled with a mixture of awe and admiration. "You have refused to be ruled by fate, refused to be a puppet of destiny. And now, fate itself will bow to you." From that day forward, Nnenna became more than just a princess. She became a queen, not by divine right or prophetic decree, but by the sheer force of her will, by her unwavering commitment to her own path. She ruled Obiocha with wisdom and compassion, earning the love and respect of her people. The land flourished under her reign, the rivers flowed freely, and the crops grew abundantly. She established schools and libraries, ensuring that the children of Obiocha had access to knowledge and opportunities. She championed the rights of the marginalized, giving voice to the voiceless and ensuring that justice prevailed. Olama's words about the gods turning their backs on her proved to be true. Nnenna's path was not without its challenges. She faced numerous trials, each one designed to test her strength, her courage, and her commitment to the path she had chosen. A neighboring kingdom, envious of Obiocha's prosperity, launched a surprise attack, threatening to engulf the land in war. Nnenna, though trained in the arts of diplomacy, was forced to lead her people into battle. She fought bravely, not with weapons of war, but with her strategic mind and her unwavering belief in the power of peace. She negotiated a treaty, securing the borders of Obiocha without spilling a single drop of blood. A devastating famine swept across the land, threatening to starve the kingdom. Nnenna, drawing upon the wisdom of her ancestors and the knowledge she had gained from the village elders, implemented innovative farming techniques, ensuring that her people had access to food. She established granaries to store surplus crops, preparing for future hardships. A powerful sorcerer, seeking to exploit Obiocha's resources, attempted to manipulate the people, weaving a web of lies and deceit. Nnenna, using her intelligence and her understanding of human nature, exposed the sorcerer's treachery, protecting her people from his dark magic. Through every trial, Nnenna emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to shape her own destiny. She learned that freedom was not a gift to be received passively, but a prize to be earned through courage, resilience, and unwavering self-belief. She learned that true power lay not in wielding authority over others, but in empowering them to reach their full potential. Nnenna never married. She dedicated her life to her people, to Obiocha, and to the pursuit of a just and prosperous society. She understood that her destiny was not to be defined by a husband or a crown, but by the impact she had on the world around her. As she grew older, Nnenna became a legend, a symbol of hope and inspiration for generations to come. Her story was told and retold, passed down through the ages, reminding people that they were not bound by fate, that they had the power to choose their own paths, to carve their own destinies. The cursed pearl, once a symbol of fear and restriction, became a symbol of liberation, a reminder that even the most daunting prophecies could be broken. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the palace gardens, Nnenna sat beneath the Eudora tree, the same tree where she had once told stories to the village children. She was old now, her hair as white as the driven snow, but her eyes still held the same spark of intelligence and determination. Olama appeared before her, as silently and mysteriously as ever. "You have lived a long and fulfilling life, Nnenna," Olama said, her voice soft and gentle. "You have defied the gods, broken the prophecy, and carved your own destiny. You have proven that freedom is not a gift, but a responsibility." Nnenna smiled, a peaceful expression gracing her wrinkled face. "I have learned much," she said, her voice raspy but strong. "I have learned that true strength lies not in power or authority, but in courage and compassion. I have learned that the greatest gift we can give to ourselves and to others is the freedom to choose our own paths." Olama nodded, her eyes filled with understanding. "You have chosen wisely, Nnenna," she said. "You have shown the world that destiny is not written in stone, but etched in the heart of every individual. And for that, you will be remembered forever." As Olama spoke, a gentle breeze rustled through the leaves of the Eudora tree, whispering secrets of courage, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. The whispers carried Nnenna's story across the land, reminding everyone that they, too, had the power to choose their own fate, to break free from the shackles of expectation, and to create a life filled with purpose and meaning. And so, the legend of Princess Nnenna, the princess who chose her own fate, lived on, inspiring generations to come. Lesson to learn. Nnenna's story is a powerful reminder that self-discovery is a lifelong journey. It's about understanding who you are, what you value, and what you're capable of. Don't let anyone define you or tell you what you can't achieve. Embrace your unique qualities, trust your instincts, and never stop learning and growing.